This program is brought to you by the Media Liberty Alliance Foundation in cooperation with OBBM Network TV, bringing citizen-led, creative local media to the forefront of local communities to foster a greater understanding of constitutional liberty and appreciation of what makes us truly free, starting with you and me.
Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you're updated each time fresh content comes out. And thank you for being part of the Zach Rateliff Show.
The Zach Rateliff Show is brought to you by Mortgage Financial in Texarkana, Exceed Health Clinic on Mull Drive in Texarkana, Elmwood Custom Goods, and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. That's churchontherock.org. Hello and welcome to the Zach Rateliff Show. I'm Zach. I'm glad to be with you. I'm glad you are with me. Thank God for another day in the freest country that there's ever been, creating more freedom here and around the world than has ever been had. It's our job to talk about it. It's our job to keep it. And so that's what we're going to do. Hey, I want to welcome all of our new listeners and everybody that's starting to tune into the podcast. We appreciate you being with us. Just we're now a nationwide podcast, well, worldwide podcast. With multiple countries. The majority of U.S. states have listeners in them. Thank you all for that. Thank you for being here. I'm just a regular guy that's going to talk about things that matter. Going to talk about what's going on, just my perspective. So I have a filter, and that filter, well, it's a few of them. Number one, I'm a Christian. I believe that Jesus Christ is the only way that you get to heaven. I'm not ashamed of that. Number two, I'm a dad. I want to do the best things I can do to be the best dad I can be. Number three, I'm a son. I want to be the best son. I want to make my parents proud. Number four, I'm a conservative. I think if you want to be good at the first three, it inevitably leads to number four. And so that's the filter I'm going to run everything through. I don't need to be right, and I don't need you to be wrong. But I'm just going to say it like I see it. Time to time, I interview people from a wide spectrum of positions and whatnot. But anyway, today it's just me. One-man band. So we're going to have rapid fire news, just articles that I've seen that, I thought, well, this is worth talking about. I'm just going to give some perspective from my point of view, and we'll just get through it and see where we wind up. All right, let's start with this. This is from Suburban Black Man on X.com. Suburban Black Man on X.com. President Trump signing executive orders on election integrity is purely a legal strategy. The lawsuits that follow them are the entire point. Yeah, that's exactly right. He knows these whacked out liberal judges are going to do everything they can to stop. Because once again, like I say all the time, we are post-constitutional. Whether anybody wants to admit it yet or not, we are operating well outside the bounds of the Constitution. And so by Trump issuing these executive orders, which I have some articles on that, we'll get into them. They don't look bad, based on what he's trying to do. The plan seems to make sense, but he wants the lawsuit to bring us back to the Constitution, back to what we're supposed to do. That's the point. He wants to get sued, and he wants to get sued in time for this to be decided before November. Because look, without safe elections, and by safe elections, I mean ones where only citizens vote, what are we even doing? We're already, I got a text message this morning, and it said, are we supposed to be slaves to those that don't want to work? To those that continue to ride the government dime? Now, we get to do more things, right? But is 50% or more of all of our money supposed to be taken to serve our government overlords and to pay for all the people just getting their rent paid and their groceries paid and all this? and especially right now in tax time, if you think that's not a real thing, I managed banks for about 10 years. And especially here in our area in Northeast Texas, we would go through so much money in the ATMs that it was ridiculous because everybody got their tax, quote unquote, refund. But it was people that don't have jobs, people that didn't pay any taxes. And so, and I'm not talking about $200 or $300. I'm talking about 8,000, 10,000, 15,000, 18,000, and just the one little branch that I ran, which was one of the banks that I ran was inside of Walmart. We're running through, $1 million of cash a week. Just cashing IRS refunds to people that didn't pay any taxes. It was maddening. It was maddening in ways that that are just unimaginable. And then, when people hear that, they'll go, oh, that's not true. What do you mean that's not true? Ask anyone in a low to moderate income area what happens during tax season. Look, I'm not against helping people, but I don't want to go broke because you refuse to do anything about it. Anyway, so that's just one side of the election integrity, right? So then the Democrats and the Republicans, for that matter, have done a good job about bringing illegals in and getting them in low to moderate income areas. And then getting them on the government toll, getting them on welfare, getting them on housing, getting them the cell phone plan, getting everything where the government will take care of them. But all you got to do is vote for me. Oh, we're illegal. We'll make that work. Just register. Or in some states, just, if you get a driver's license, we're going to register you automatically. You don't have to prove you're a citizen. This is real life. Here we are paying 50 and 60% of our paycheck. So 50 cents or 60 cents of every dollar we make back to the government. And yet we're giving all this away. I'll tell you what I want. I want my money back. That's right, Zach. I do want my money back. And then let's even talk about this. And I don't even have an article on this, but we've got this Iran thing going on. And oh my gosh, gas prices are so high. Gas prices are terrible. I paid $3.33 this morning. Happy April Fools, by the way. But I paid $3.33 this morning. The aggravating part of that is 19 cents of that is a state tax and 20 cents of that is a federal tax, or flip-flop it. So 39 cents of that $3.33 a gallon I paid is taxes. So if the government was really concerned, if our overlords, if our ruling class was really concerned about the gas tax, about the gas price, they would just suspend the gas tax. But they don't care about you. They don't care about me. They just care about power and money and power. We can never believe they're for us. Now, do I think some of them start off with good intentions? Absolutely. Do I think some of them, want to do what's right when they get started? Yeah, of course I do. But the weight of Austin or Little Rock or Baton Rouge or whatever your state capital is, or the weight of Washington, D.C., it weighs on a person. Why just do this for me? And I'll slide you a little cash. I'll make sure your mom's okay. What? My mom is okay. Yeah. That's what I said. I'll make sure your little girl's okay. Well, she's doing fine. Yeah. That's what I said. I'll buy you a good steak dinner. That's the way it works, and they get taken advantage of. All right, here's this from Glenn Beck on X.com. France, Italy, Spain, and more just blocked our military flights for the Iran war. They don't want us there? Perfect. President Trump, bring our troops home and our nukes home, because we have nukes over in Europe. He goes, bring our nukes home from these failing NATO countries now. Soon they'll be Islamic nations anyway, and they cannot have our nukes. That's exactly right. You don't want to help us after we footed the bill for this since the end of World War II? Okay. You don't have to. We will take our ball and go home. We don't need you. And that's what we're going to see with this Iran oil thing. We are energy we are energy independent. I think it's crazy. And look, I'm no expert on all this, but I think it's crazy that we pay the world gas prices. I mean, world oil prices. Let's just don't sell any of our oil and sell it to ourselves. Let's just don't worry about anybody else. I know that's isolationist, and how dare I? I dare, because the world's turning its back on us. Everybody calls us they're just empires, and they're just, okay, let's be that. Let's take what we need, protect our assets, and thrive. I'm okay with that. Well, in that, then we can spread what we want. Then we can fund your missionaries. Then we can fund all this. But we got to take care of home base first. All right, let's keep going. Gunther Engelman on X.com. He says, Justice Thomas was just forced the birthright citizen debate back to first principles. He said, Solicitor General laid it out, the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment, and this is in court today, and Donald Trump's actually there, I think. The 14th Amendment was written to overrule Dred Scott and secure citizenship for freed slaves who had domicile here and owed allegiance to no foreign power. And then this is part of the 14th Amendment. Subject to jurisdiction thereof means allegiance, not mere presence or subjection to our laws. Because that's what it says. The text even uses reside, which at the time meant domicile. And what, here, actually, let me just pull the 14th Amendment so that we can, the 14th Amendment. Okay, I'm gonna super grok it, and we'll see. And the 14th Amendment is, golly, this thing is huge. All right, here we go. All persons born or naturalized in the United States are subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person. Okay. The Zach Rateliff Show is brought to you by Mortgage Financial in Texarkana, Exceed Health Clinic on Mull Drive in Texarkana, Elmwood Custom Goods, and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. That's churchontherock.org. So what it says is we have to be under, here, let me get this from another source too. Well, so, and this just happened to come up on my phone. So the Wall Street Journal, its opinion is that Trump is right on the birthright citizenship. And there's an article in the Wall Street Journal going into this. But it's saying, hey, you can't have allegiance to another nation. You have to have allegiance to us. So if you're coming in with your Mexican flags or your Iranian flags or whatever, no, you have to have allegiance to us. So if you're not saying that you have allegiance to us, you don't get the benefits. There are benefits that come with being a citizen. I think we lose that sometimes. But anyway, he says Gunther Engelman says, the framers weren't handing automatic citizenship to everyone born on U.S. soil. That's exactly right. But don't worry. As always, the left in this country, the left of Republicans and the left of the Democrats, want to pervert everything in such a way that makes it unrecognizable. and they continue to do that. Oh yeah, and then here it is from Nick Sorter. Breaking, and it's got a Fox News clip. Breaking, President Trump has arrived at the Supreme Court to attend oral arguments in the birthright citizenship case. He's the first president in history to attend oral arguments at the Supreme Court of the United States. I don't know what the court will do. You know, in case you didn't know, they don't invite me to the meetings. And part of me thinks, I don't know if Donald Trump should be there, but he's the president. He can be there. But then part of me thinks, golly, are they just going to want to prove a point that he can't influence them, so they're automatically going to vote against it? You know, because everything's politics. And even though the court's not supposed to be political, it is. So I have mixed feelings about that. But, you know, I voted for Donald Trump. And when I did that, I said, hey, I'm going to trust this guy's decisions. And so that's where I am. and there you go. Oh, I have one that I sent myself in Spanish. Let me see. Okay, here we go. You had to get it translated. This is from Johan Fonseca. Reporter, why would the U.S. troops, talking to Pete Hegseth, why would more U.S. troops be sent to the region if ground deployment in Iran is not being considered? He says, Pete Hegseth says, look, this is a military lesson that a reporter should understand. Don't reveal to your enemy what you're going to do. Well, that's the thing with Biden and Obama. Like, hey, we're going to do this at 12 o'clock. We're coming to kick your door in at 12 o'clock. You guys, you better be there and be ready. No, that isn't the way it works. That ain't what you're supposed to do. It's hey, we have all options on the table. You can negotiate with, or you can figure out which option we're going to use. Okay, perfect. That's great. That's the way it should be. There's no such thing as a fair fight. We're the world's superpower. We're the most powerful nation in the country, in the world. We shouldn't tell you what we're going to do. We should say, hey, this isn't going to be good for you if you don't act right. But however, whatever happens, the consequences will be yours, and the decision that we have to do them are going to be up to you. But we've given you the option. I mean, it just makes sense to me. But, you know, who knows? All right, let's see what we've got. I thought this was an interesting quote. This is from Infamous Raiderette on X.com. Infamous Raiderette. She goes, I wish y'all forced pork on Muslims the way you all try to force homosexuality acceptance on Christians. And of course, then she gets all kinds of blowback, right? But she's just saying, hey, you try to shove this down our throats all the time. And look, if you're gay, be gay. That's on you. Doesn't affect me. Don't make my church do it. Don't make me have to celebrate it, and don't force it on my kid. It's pretty simple. But then when it comes to Islam, you can't say anything bad about them. No, because they'll kill you. That's the point she's making. Like, you wouldn't make them do something. Why can you make Christians do something? Well, why are Christians the most hated group there is? I mean, nobody wants to say, we're a Christian nation, are we? We used to be. We have Christian tendencies. We're secularly Christian. You know, culturally Christian, I guess I should say. I mean, here where I am in Texas, we're, you know, we definitely lean Christian. However, I'm sitting a mere less than 2 miles from a mosque, right? In a town of less than 100,000 people. So, you know, but is anybody going to go over there and protest during Gay Pride Month? I would heavily doubt it. Right? I would think no. Anyway, there you go. All right, let's keep going. Eric Doherty on X.com. Eric Doherty on X.com. Breaking, Governor Ron DeSantis is moving to get a radical left judge impeached after she released a known predator who went on to kill an innocent 5-year-old girl. Yeah, she should be impeached, and then she should be tried for murder. These judges just letting everybody go. I saw it somewhere the other day. I can't remember where I saw it, but it was somebody quoted, and this is not original to me, but I don't remember who said it, and it was basically, if a bartender overserves someone and they get drunk and then they decide to drive home and they get drunk and kill somebody, the bartender, they're going to be looked at this. They could be held accountable in some way to this. Yet when a judge releases a criminal and they go rape or murder or steal, there are no consequences for that judge. I think there ought to be. There at least ought to be some review, like, okay, this person did X. You let them off. You let them out. Whatever it is. And then they did this. There ought to be a review board of some sort that can say, hey, here's what happened. What were you justified in your actions in releasing them? And then if you were, and then they still messed up, hey, it's fine. That was justified. And they're just a bad person. But if you weren't, hey, there needs to be a penalty, because we all have penalties. Anyway, a little Rateliffology for you. All right, let's keep going. Oh, let's see. This is back to Gunther Engelman on X. Today, the Supreme Court is going to hear Trump's birthright citizenship order. Roughly 255,000 kids are born here every year to illegal, he calls them illegal invaders, who would no longer be able to get the U.S. citizenship. So 6% of all births in the U.S. are to illegals. That's crazy, right? We have to keep our country. We have to maintain our country. If you want to come here and get citizenship and assimilate to our culture, welcome. That's who we are. You remember, I'm 40. I can remember when I was little. We were the melting pot of the world. We weren't a fragmented, everybody come stay with your own people part of the world. And I come from one of my best friends is a black guy, right? And I have a lot of black friends. And of course, all white people say that, right? And then one of my other real good friends is a Mexican guy. And don't call him Hispanic because he'll get mad because he says he's not from Spain, he's from Mexico. Yet we all grew up together. We came, there was no segregation when we were in schools. That had already been handled. Now, not to say that there isn't racism sometimes, because there is. But we didn't come from a world where everything's so separated. So I'm not saying that we all need to be separated. I'm saying we all need to come together. We all need to assimilate, have the same culture, have the same goals, root for each other's families. But if you come here and you don't want to be part of our culture, and you want to just live off the system like we were talking about earlier, this isn't for you. You shouldn't get to do that and then make me have to pay for it. It's frustrating. Frustrating for sure. All right. Did you all see where the, what was it? Was it Apaches? Yeah, Apache pilots flew down and waved at Kid Rock at his Nashville house or whatever. Of course, Kid Rock's just being Kid Rock. And then they were going to get suspended or whatever. Anyway, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, according to Gunther Engelman, just posted that the suspension of the U.S. Army Apache pilots who flew near Kid Rock's house is officially lifted. It says, "Thank you, Kid Rock. U.S. Army pilot suspension lifted. No punishment, no investigation. Carry on, Patriots." So that's cool. Look, you do what you're supposed to do. Don't, that's tax dollars, right? I promise you those things don't fly for free. So there we go. This from the Christian Post. If you don't ever read the Christian Post, you should. It's got some good stuff in it. Okay, here we go. Chicago Bulls just fired Jaden Ivey for being Christian. The Chicago Bulls have a message to their Christian fan base. Your faith is welcome. Your faith is welcome only if you keep it quiet and compliant. On March 30th, 2026, the Bulls waived guard Georgian Ivey, citing conduct detrimental to the team. They did so not because of a season-ending injury that occurred, not for poor performance, not even because he refused to play or disrupted team activities. He'd already been shut down due to a knee injury. Ivy did the unthinkable. He dared to speak openly about his Christian faith on his own personal social media accounts. If you think people won't silence you over being a Christian, you are wrong. You are wrong. Email me for more, right? But I mean, people will tell you all the time not to talk about God. When I was on the radio, I was told almost every day to stop saying God bless you. Nobody wants to hear that. Right? Don't say God bless you. We're not a Christian station. I don't need you to be a Christian station. Now it was their station. They had the right to tell me to say whatever they want to do. I just didn't have to be there. Right? It's the golden rule. The man with the gold makes the rule. They had every right to tell me what to say. And I had every right to walk away. That's the way it works. If you don't think people will put power on you to not be Christian, if you don't think, I mean, that happens every day in this country. And then what was it in Nigeria? Golly, do I have that article? Hold on, let me look. They're just murdering Christians by the thousands over there, and there were more murdered on Palm Sunday. So there's that. GCCaptain.com, GCaptain.com. EU tells members to prepare for prolonged disruption to energy markets from Iran war. Yeah, that's Trump saying, hey, if you don't want to help us, if you don't want to secure the strait, well, just figure it out. Just do what you want to do. But you're going to have to find oil somewhere. So we've got that. All right, let's wrap up some of this news that we're going through. What do we have? Oh, we're going to the moon tonight. And I think that's real cool. Going back, we're gonna fly back around the moon. It's the Artemis 2 moon mission. Here, this is from abcnews.com. If it'll load, as early as Wednesday, Artemis 2 will make history, taking astronauts around the moon for the first time in 50 years. I'm about it. Let's go, baby. Let's go. The 4-person crew will launch from NASA's Kennedy Space Center on Merritt Island, Florida, for a 10-day journey, paving the way for future Artemis missions that could eventually see astronauts set foot on the moon and building a permanent lunar base. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Now, some of you just don't even think we went to the moon. And, if you're one of them, I'm talking to you. And if you think I'm thinking about you, I am. Some of you don't think we went to the moon, and you don't have to, but I think it's cool. I think it's neat. And I'm excited to see us go back. I'm excited to see the technological advances that will come from it. This is great. I think we should rally around this and go forward. All right, everybody. That's your rapid fire news for today. I hope all of you have a great day. I hope God blesses each and every one of you. I hope you look to Jesus this Holy Week and what he did for us, for all humanity, because he wants us to be with him. So if you don't have a church to go to on Sunday, wherever you are, look and find one. As long as they're Bible believing and believe in Jesus, go check it out. He is the way. He is the truth. He is the life. As he said, no man gets to the Father but through him. I hope God's with you today, and we'll be back and do it all again tomorrow.